Bro.
I'm here with the superstar, the star striker of AFTV FC and that light-skinned Cameron Jerome.
No, I told you about that already. You know? Yeah. Cameron Jerome's whack, bro.
No, it's all love, my guy.
No,
what are you saying, though? You
all good, man. What are you saying?
And really, I just wanted to plug your brains about Arsenal. I mean, we've both got the merchandise on. We all spend a shitload of money supporting our team up and down the country and whatnot. How you been feeling since Arteta's come into the role, generally? Like, obviously, you know yourself better than me. Been here for 4 games or so. What's your feelings on him and the squad and all of this sort of stuff?
You know, he's given me a little bit of hope because it felt hopeless under Emery, but it felt like we was going nowhere. Innit? Like we
were here in the same spot saying that same thing. I agree with you. Go on, my guy.
There was no direction. I think under Arteta, at least there's a plan. We can see the way he wants to play. It's just a case of getting the right players within that system. The players need to get fitter. As you said before, 60, 70 minutes they look...
We're dead, yeah.
As soon as they get that fitness and we get better players... I remember Klopp's first year at Liverpool. He came in midway through the season. And I remember him saying it's going to take these players 6 months to get used to...
I swear, I didn't even know he said that.
And he said they'll get a lot of muscle injuries as well.
Swear on?
Yeah, he was saying...
I'm going to try to find an article about that.
Yeah, find that. He was talking about hamstrings and that, saying... If you haven't had pre-season and you try and get used to this
it's going to be mad.
It's going to take your body a while.
And that's kind of happening as well with the injuries.
We're getting injuries a lot, and that's why you need a big squad, energetic squad.
This is why I brought him on my show, because I didn't even know about that. But go on, my guy.
I can always learn, bro.
I didn't even know. Go on, man. I'm intrigued.
So I think it's going to take a while, and especially we've got some older players as well, so energy levels
Would you say that gives you more concern, though? Because you just touched on older players, like... I don't want to speculate because how Aubameyang might recover quicker than Martinelli, for example. But I mean, if Aubameyang gets a hamstring injury, being in his 30s compared to someone like Saka and being a bit extreme, do you worry? Because you look at our side, David Luiz and Socrates, they're in the wrong side of 30 and they're playing quite a lot. I've already said Aubameyang kind of can throw Lacazette. He's 29 in May, can throw players like that into that. But other than that, I'm reaching a bit. So, what do you feel? Would you say with our players being slightly older, do you have more concerns or more concerns for the slightly older players?
I think, maybe with the older players, because if they've never played at that tempo of football and you're older in your career, your muscles are kind of slowing down a little bit. Can you then get your body to work in that kind of manner? I would feel like your Sakas and that can probably get their body to work like that. You need a lot of energy in your team, something I don't think we've got. You look at the likes of Xhaka, people are very static.
So who do you... It's a great question, and I think you're probably going to answer it, but I'd like to state it. If any, which players do you feel or you'd be more like impressed to see how they can go under Arteta with the way he's playing, or you're more confident in seeing, and which players do you feel at this moment in time couldn't necessarily long term move forward with how Arteta wants to play? Obviously, bearing in mind form wise, he obviously knows everyone's like walks into the team from Xhaka to Leno. Everybody deserves their spot, but long term moving forward. Sorry, is there anyone, a group of players that you believe can do this and can't? If there's any,
Martinelli's one I think will thrive in this system. You know, the way that South American aggression and the way he presses. I think long term he'll be a striker. I see him playing
Alexis Sanchez, false nine sort of thing. I
see him playing central. Aubameyang worries me at the moment. I think he's our best player, but I don't like this whole left wing thing. I really don't. I think you'll burn him out if he does
long term.
I remember
this tracking back stuff.
I remember the Chelsea game was in the ground and he ran back and tackled Willian, I think. And everyone's like, "Hey!" The guy next to me, I said, "Bro, do you see Aguero doing that? You see Kane doing that? You're gonna burn his legs up."
Couple games, like big games, I don't mind him doing that for the job, but long term moving forward. I do think, like for me, I'm with you. Aubameyang plays up front, but is it just me? I'm starting to feel about the possibility. Like, who says, what if Aubameyang relishes that? Like, what if he doesn't mind playing in that? Because you saw like the goal we scored against Palace, how he came in off that left and snuck in. What if he relishes that? I don't believe he does, because centrally you're going to do your thing. But what if he relishes that?
Number one, I would say, how good is he on the left, though? Is he great out there? When he has to really get the ball and dribble. That goal against Palace was him running onto a pass from Lacazette. I think when he runs onto stuff, he's good. When he's got to actually dribble and run at people,
it's different, isn't it? Yeah, it's not really a skill set.
The Man United game, for example, he didn't really go past Wan-Bissaka that whole game. I know we got in where he passed it to Kolasinac and he crossed it.
But generally, he's not 1v1. It's kind of dead. It's excluding the pace. It's kind of dead.
Do you know what I mean? I just look at him. I think if he played through the middle all season, and we actually started creating, I think he could score close to 30 goals.
And that's what we always say. Like, we sat here and said it's actually a miracle Aubameyang has 20 league goals, because on top of playing out wide and stuff, we don't play to his strengths.
We
like,
don't.
I can only think of 2 goals, and there's obviously more that I class as real Aubameyang goals. I'd say Guendouzi, I believe, this season when he set him up against Spurs, and the game that's just gone against Palace, because he's on to the end of things. Like, that's what Aubameyang is. As if I'm a centre-half and you're Aubameyang, and I look one way and you're gone the next, I'm shitting myself, because he's going to end up in the back of the net. Exactly. Who would you say surprised you under Arteta? And it's been your... Right, at first I'd say surprise package, best player under Arteta.
Surprise package?
Potentially in terms of improvement. Like,
I would say
consistency.
Do you know what? I think David Luiz has improved a lot under him.
Yeah,
I've seen leadership qualities from him. Long term, I don't think he's the answer.
Clearly,
we all know he's not the answer.
But for right now,
I genuinely didn't think he even had that left in his locker. I thought, this guy's finished now. And he's shown, even against Chelsea, he didn't look like somebody who'd been at Chelsea most of his career.
He was on this thing, I
want to beat these.
I want to beat these lot. I want to win.
He was serious. Ozil as well. I give him his due. You know, I'm not a big Ozil fan. But I give him his due. He stepped his work rate up. I do think sometimes, as I said to you before, complimenting players for working hard is dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Because you should do that anyway. Why wasn't he working hard before? Did he down tools or whatever? Torreira again. I think he looks like the Torreira.
I mean, he's playing in his best position, and he's back playing well again.
It's not rocket science, is it?
It must be, really, bro. Like, it must be, because Arteta, as great as he is, it must be rocket science. But yeah, Torreira for you.
He's a defensive mid, and we were playing him attacking.
Trying to make him Aaron Ramsey.
Trying to do something else.
Trying to make him Mesut Ozil. Like, it's chalk and cheese, bro.
I mean, even Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
Yeah, you know, he's a big one. Him and Kolasinac probably, out of Arteta, probably the biggest, because for me, I would say, I've always said Maitland-Niles can't rule out being a fullback. He's got the attributes. I think he's a centre mid / right back, but playing games, that's an avenue for you. You can't rule it out.
You can't.
And he looked so, like, not confident in that position, and now he looks confident. And I don't know how to make it make sense, but it looks like Kolasinac and him, they're not necessarily in 1v1 situations where you see their frailties or the things they're bad at, really. So I'd say Maitland. Who else would you say?
I mean, Xhaka for me.
Yeah, he's a touchy one.
He's a touchy one.
Because right now he's on one of the first. We'll both agree, and we spoke about it. First name on the team sheet. But long term, do I think he's anything past a rotation option? I don't think so. I would like to. I see personally, and I think I speak for you as well. With Torreira, if we can get someone a bit more combative, a bit more dynamic, and we can have either that or a couple of them in our side, and then look to have some creativity, we've got it. Because we always speak about it. I'm personally tired of being overrun in midfield. Like, I'm a good fan of big fan of Guendouzi, but I wouldn't necessarily play him against City because we're going to get overrun. I see him, Xhaka, even Torreira. Torreira's fairly mobile and stuff, but is he the most tenacious and whatnot? Who knows? I want to see us stop getting overrun. I want to see us score some goals in midfield, but I'm tired of that. I would say, for me personally, I'd say the 2 fullbacks, without a doubt. Xhaka, can't knock that. You know what? David Luiz, Socrates as well. Like, they come as a pair, because I'm onto Socrates. I feel Socrates, he's impressed me more than I thought when he signed, but I think he's still showing his problems. I was very pessimistic, bro, with that signing.
Same,
I thought, no,
this is too late.
Yeah, like, it's not even that. Like, I was turning up my nose. I was vexed. It was like him and Welbeck, and they both proved me wrong. I felt Socrates is still kind of, not the best, but he showed me something. I feel Arteta will move him on, bro, because
I agree.
The ball playing, the age, something needs to give. I think he'll at least give Luiz another season. Apologies, people. Very unprofessional of us, but we're we're trying to evolve.
Like
and
the press conference.
Like the
phone was going off there, wasn't it, man?
I think it's David Luiz, but yeah, I'd say David Luiz. So what's impressed you? What's the single most thing that's impressed you under Arteta?
It's the style of play for me. I was sick of watching Emery and thinking, what are we even trying to achieve here? Straight away, I'm looking at Arteta, I'm going, they're pressing, they want to win the ball back quick. The front three are higher up the pitch. I was sick of seeing Pepe in his own half. Back to goal. Now he's getting one-on-one with fullbacks. We haven't seen that. It already looks to me like you can see his coaching paying off. Like you were saying about Ainsley there. Ainsley Maitland-Niles a month ago, if you'd have asked me, I'd have probably said, could be gone in the
He's
summer.
someone that could get. He's
could
probably
be-
a candidate
it
to
could
go
be-
out on loan or something.
yeah.
This, let alone summer.
Yeah,
To, like
could go now.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
loan,
yeah.
you know
He could
what I
have kept it
mean?
moving.
Right now, I'm looking at him. I'm thinking, yo, if you keep up this form, Bellerin could be done. At
Yeah,
the club.
Bellerin.
It's
Yeah,
that
yeah,
real.
yeah.
So,
Because right now you're the first choice fullback, like,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
not your natural position, quote
Yeah.
unquote.
and it's his assertiveness. I didn't expect Arteta to have much of a presence. This is something that I was a little worried about. I thought Arteta, he seemed quite a nice guy as a player. He wasn't a legend at the club. He was a good player, but not a legend. I wasn't sure, you know.
If
but
he had that guy,
yeah, that
about him,
authority
and,
that I'm the manager. But since I've seen him, I thought this guy knows what he's
he
talking
knows
about.
what he's talking about,
and he
and
knows
he's matching it.
and he's matching it with the action on the pitch. Every time we have a negative result, I've looked at it and not once have I thought, that's the manager. I'm kind of looking at it going, do you know what? His
Players
hands are
being
tied.
done. Yeah,
The
his
players
hands.
aren't
Yeah, his
good
hands
enough.
are tied. Yeah, yeah.
Chelsea game, for example.
Yeah.
The game plan worked to perfection.
Yeah.
They didn't look like scoring. Leno makes a mistake. The second
We switch
goal
up, we
was
lose
stuffy.
it in 7 minutes.
He can't do nothing.
He can't do nothing about that.
That's
Yeah.
players, and they've not switched on. Not good enough.
United, it's funny you said that because I know we won against United, but we kind of rid our luck in that
Yeah,
second
yeah,
half.
second
Really,
half,
like
yeah.
these are the sort of things we want to get out of our
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
I'd say, do you know what? Yeah, I agree with that 100%. But I saw these sort of things to a degree in the early days with Emre. So for me, I agree with what you say with the players. Like I want to see the same thing because I feel Arteta's another level to Emre.
Yeah.
I know Emre's won trophies, but I feel I'm really looking at these players because they're very quick to allegedly down tools and they're very quick to praise people. So I need to see a bit more. What's your hopes for this? People, I apologise first and foremost for my squeaky trainers, and secondly because the memory card was full. But just before it cut off, I was about to ask my good mate Curtis. I don't even know how to make the sense of the question. What's the best we can do to salvage this season, or for you? I pick my words lightly because you're a smart footballing man. There's not really positives, yeah. But like, what could we gain from this season, or for you in May? What could you say? All right, cool. Given the context, new managers and the circus, it's been an okay season. Like there's something to move forward with. Is it Europa? Like,
Do you know, for me, it might sound harsh on Arteta, but unless we're holding up the Europa League trophy, I think it's been a failure. And I don't necessarily mean that for him as the manager, because as I said to you before, I think it's down to the players. The players need to step up now. We can't. There's a lot of fanboy culture at Arsenal where they love this player, that player, but collectively, how many of them are really performing?
Can really look in the mirror.
Apart from Aubameyang, there's not many you can say consistently.
Probably Leno, really.
And Leno, and even people have
Even,
had question marks over him.
Even.
So I'm looking at it going, this team need to step up.
You
look throughout our team, the investment that's been made. Look at our front three. Aubameyang, 50 odd million. Lacazette, 50.
Same.
Pepe, 70 million. That's 170 million.
Even though I know Ozil's a different period, 40 something,
40-something.
and we're not up there for goal scoring stats. That should, as crap as we are, I'm not saying we should still be poor, but we should be up there for goal scoring shots and these things. But football isn't one on paper.
Yeah, it isn't one like that. But you look at teams like Leicester and look at the investment. It's shrewd business rather than just how much you've spent. So to me, I think they need to win the Europa League, and I say that because I think if we're not in the Champions League next year, I think we could have big problems. I think if Lacazette and Aubameyang go, and we don't get the deals that we want, because the reality is, if Aubameyang was to turn around and say, "I want to go," if your Real Madrid's, Barcelona's don't come for him, all of a sudden you might only get 40 million from him.
All of a sudden you might have interest from top 6 clubs, really.
He might end up at a rival.
He could.
I'm happy in England. I remember Van Persie. They go, "Oh, you're going Juventus?" No, I'm going Man United.
I'm going United.
I'm
bro.
staying in England.
Yeah.
And you've got no choice.
If I was Chelsea, if Chelsea get Champions League, being a London club, if Aubameyang doesn't necessarily care about fans and that, that's an option. Klopp and Liverpool, if they're just seeking to improve and have pressure for places, you go for Aubameyang. So I take it for you, like you said, the Europa League. Where do you think we need to, if we can do any business in January?
Well, from everything we're reading, we're not going to spend a lot of money. It's going to be loans and cheap deals.
And bargain basement all these sale things.
It's looking like maybe Kazawa, that's not enough. We need a centre-back, we need a centre-mid. I don't see us getting a top-quality centre-mid on loan. They're going to cost money, aren't they,
Rabiot's the one being spoken of a lot, but that one's died down, really.
Yeah.
Samore of Lille, I like him.
I thought Emre Can,
Oh, yeah, I said that as well. On a little loan, there's enough. Yeah, there's something for you to, you've got a basement here.
Yeah.
The only problem I saw with that is allegedly he wants Champions League because I don't know if he was left out, but he's feeling some way around that. Yeah. Turkish is in the back, guys, and we should really ask him on Emre's.
He would support that deal.
Yeah, he'll support that. But yeah. But like to round up, long term, specifically this time next year, 3 things that have to ultimately be in the Arsenal side, or Arsenal need to have done to have a much better season, to be here a year from now and we're in the top 4. I'd love to say the league, but right now it's top 4 and trying to be in a shout with that. What would you say is the 3 things you'd like to see? We've
got to fix the midfield. The midfield for me has been a shambles for years.
People.
Trust me, for years. I think the last decent midfield was the Coquelin Cazorla. That was all right.
Last little bit of function.
It had a little bit of something.
Yin and yang sort of.
It wasn't enough. Cazorla was magic. Coquelin wasn't quite.
Good for what he's good at and fan culture, but Coquelin,
So I think we need balance in them. I actually think we need probably 2 centre mids.
Thank you.
I think we need the ball player who can dictate, boss it, and we need the powerhouse.
And we need the powerhouse. That Vieira.
That power. You can't bully this midfield.
Yeah, like he is here to stay and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
we can go Burnley away on Tuesday night in the rain.
You're making me laugh, bro. And he's going to stand up, man.
And Chris Wood's getting it, you know what I mean, bro?
You think you can bully and intimidate? Like,
I want power.
Someone, if Torreira isn't there as well, that can fill in. Like, because we're just not there. Like, I don't necessarily think it's a height thing necessarily, but for me, I want someone 6 foot and composed. Like, and there's a lot of beasts in like the French league in particular, and it seems like we're not coming with nowhere. So you said midfield.
Yeah, so the midfield, the defence as well.
It goes without saying.
Centre back, we know that anyway. More than anything, I want to see... Do you know what? I want to see a team that I can look at and think, over the next few years, we can build around that team.
Inspired.
Because I'm looking at Aubameyang and Lacazette now going, I like you both, but you might not be there next year. That makes me feel insecure as a fan. I don't really know, what's he think? You don't want your star player to have speculation around it. I want to think, he's committed, he's signed a new deal.
Because he's the captain as well.
And I feel like Aubameyang, he strikes me that he wants to stay at the club.
But it will come down to
he may have a difficult decision. He's 31 this summer. This is his last big contract. Can he waste it at Arsenal?
And even if Arteta, what scares me as well off the back of that is, even if he believes in Arteta and these young players, it's good for Saka in that in the next 2 years. They're going to be, early 20s. His career is basically done. Yeah. So if there's a shrewd little bit of truth in these links to the Barca's and the Madrids, I can't begrudge him for leaving. He'll pay me, but why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't
you? We should have made a decision about his contract, and if we didn't, we should have shown him something to get behind. And that's what I'm hoping Arteta's doing. And what scares me, even if what he's doing, if he buys into this Arteta thing, the playing left wing, everything, he still might not believe, this is enough. I think there's enough reasons for him to stay. Like you said, London, 30, stability. I mean, he's cool with Troops, even if
exactly.
Troops, if you got his number, make sure he makes something happen. Yeah. But he looks like he's going to keep it moving. It's funny enough because I would have thought Lacazette being another year would be more likely to stay. But now I'm thinking, you potentially, if you sign a centre-half, you sign a centre-middle too, by God's grace, you probably sell Lacazette, hopefully 50, you get probably a current form of 30, 40. It's sad but true. You ride the fact that Aubameyang gets 20 league goals for a season, and it will pain that he leaves for free. But if that can help you get your collective goals for the top 4, then why not? I say that because when Emre and actually Wenger was saying that, I was buoying both of them, you lot are smoking the maddest of weed, why are you saying this? But then I kind of got it, it's if he helps you get Champions League, yes, you've kind of fucked up in terms of his contract. Could Lacazette lead the line by himself?
Maybe not.
Maybe not, because in his first season or second season, Aubameyang brought in, as good as a player he is.
Yeah.
So.
And you made a great point earlier. You said, if Laka was so certy, why did they buy Aubameyang?
Yeah, that's it.
People don't buy £50 million strikers, 2 of them,
and then go and buy a next one next month later.
They obviously thought he's not going to get the goals.
He's not going to do it.
So I would be more inclined to sell Lacazette out of the 2, invest that money elsewhere. I mean, Atletico are being linked with him again.
And if this current form, bite their hands off.
Would you take Thomas Partey off them in a swap then?
Yeah.
Do you know
what? It depends on the fees. It depends, because if Lacazette is, I'd rather just try and buy him. But if Lacazette's adamant, I want to go Atletico, I'm not staying, then why not, man? It all depends. Do you think they should give us money for Lacazette and Partey?
Maybe,
Or should we butt them? Because I'm starting to think, yo, it's an attacker. You kind of want him to a degree more than
we.
we.
For France, which is a bit more high profile.
Give us, I don't know, 30 mil on that.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm dreaming a bit. I don't really know about transfers, but that would be cool. And I don't think, for me as well, to round it up, I'm a bit concerned about the scouting of this club, bro. Because shout out to Edu/KGO who brought in Martinelli. Shout out to Torreira and whoever brought in Guendouzi. But beyond that, there's not really a clear philosophy. Like you said earlier when we was talking, it's very reactive. It's not, we know we need a centre-half, but we're listening to people's stories. It's like David Luiz. Did we, again, I would question it, but did we legitimately want him, or did we hear Lampard's not using him? We've got the London aspect, he can stay here, and then move for him.
Cheap,
and he's cheap.
Yeah.
Let's kind of get him on paper, his experience, Premier League winner, Champions League winner, and all these things. I start to think it's that, but who knows, man. But
I want to see a team that we can build with for the future, even if we have to suffer for another year or two.
Just some inspiration.
I want to see like a back four of like Saliba, Tierney, maybe Ainsley, and another centre back. If it was like Upamecano or something,
be decent, be young, but something to get behind. Yeah,
and it's going to grow together, and we'll have a good team.
But that's a scary thing. Because we're in love with projects, bro.
Yeah.
It will get turned up. But what are you saying for Saliba next season, anyways, man?
From what I've seen of him, he looks good. I think people need to reel it in a little bit. People are talking about him like he's the saviour. He's only in his second season of first team football. He's had injuries this year. You know, it might take him a while to adjust to the Premier League.
So do you think people, similar to what they've done with a lot of players, they get caught up on the fact that he's French and composing and think of the player he's going to be tomorrow, then what he is right now? Because I think Arsenal fans, whether you rate Nelson, Joe, Martinelli, because I think Martinelli will go through it. Maitland-Niles, people get carried away and then are surprised that they're a bit inconsistent. It's like right now Martinelli's going through that stage. All these young players go through. Can't do no wrong. You're the Messiah. He plays 10 games in a row. I back him to be consistent and I'll be his biggest fan. But if he has a wobble, many fans will recognise his quality. But there'll be them fans like, he's overrated. Same thing as Saliba. Because you're a striker. You've played against inexperienced defenders. So if we quantify that to Premier League football, Saliba is going to learn some harsh lessons when he plays.
Against your Agueros, your Kanes. And
even guys like Glenn Murray, them street smart strikers that know how to pull your shirt and all them bullshits there. Like, it's a madness, man. But hopefully it's more positive.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Like, man, thanks for always
Good
coming
to
to in that,
brother.
man. I make sure you lot go on his channel, talk your stuff and plug yourself, man.
Curtis Shaw TV, keep supporting, man.
Make sure you lot plug his stuff and you lot always mention him because I need to get this guy back, man. He's very hard to get back on the show, man. He's harder than Turkish, and Turkish is a difficult one. If you know where Turkish is, shout me because we need to get a video. But
big up, bro.
Love for that,
Bless
man.
for coming
Come through anytime, man. Love for that, dude.